Okay, guys, we're live, it looks like. What's up, guys? I'm back from SEMA. So let me see if I can try to do something slightly different on this. Don't know if I can watch my own live stream from my phone. If you guys are wondering what I'm trying to do right now, I'm just trying to, normally I end up having my computer and reading your comments since the camera's over there, but I want to see if I can do it on my phone because this would be a little bit better to do it this way. I haven't tried it before, but you never know. Give me 1 second, see if it's possible. Let's see. Oh, I might be able to. Cool. Okay, so I think I can actually do it from my phone, which will make it easier, instead of always having to do it from there. So what's up, guys? I'm back in the garage. I spent, how many days was it? I guess I was there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and all day Thursday. So I was at SEMA for 4 days, and that was pretty much as I felt I needed. I shared a couple of the days with you guys, but I ended up spending my time a little bit differently there. So I'll get into that in just a second. We'll let some people join. I'll just answer some questions and see what you guys are saying so that I'm up to speed on you guys and the comments as well. So, Michael Green, what's up, man? Damn, so you were here for 30 minutes. That's wild, man. Appreciate it. Mr. J Magoo's here. Mr. Large is here. Did I leave Vegas early because there's too many hookers? No, I just left because honestly, 4 days on your feet, I've considered myself pretty athletic, but literally 4 days of continuous walking, talking, trying to be energetic in the camera, I was just done at the end of it. And not only that, but I was kind of arranging a bunch of meetings. I had some other automotive related business too, so I had a bunch of stuff to take care of there. And I guess if you guys want to know more about it, how should I say this? What I ended up doing there is, as you guys know, we have a lot of different parts and components on the vehicles as well. And so what I did was, a lot of YouTubers will go there, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I guess everybody has their own style, but they'll go there and they'll just be running around with their camera in their face the whole time, giving you their personal opinion on all the different vehicles, which, I mean, it works. Lots of people watch it, people like that style. I did that for a couple videos for you guys, but what I felt was most valuable for me, out of SEMA at least, I don't mind sharing that content with you guys. So if you guys enjoyed it, definitely let me know. I can, it's not gonna be the last year at SEMA, but what I did was I went to SEMA, and you gotta remember, pretty much everybody who's somebody from different companies is at SEMA. So I went around to all the different products, vendors, sponsors, companies that I think would be, benefit mutually from Boosted Motorsports. I introduced myself, talked to them, told them what we're doing, told them what we've done, told them what our plans are for the future, and kind of exchanged contacts with them, and actually found the contacts at each respective company, so that we could, exchange emails, exchange contacts, let them know what we're doing, show them what we're doing, and hopefully that can help take things up. So I'm hoping, and I kind of was setting the tone for this, that we can have some assistance for a supercharger for the Viper, and also speaking on the Pro Charger for the truck, so that we can have that going as well. So that's kind of what I was doing. Like I said, running around to different companies, suspension companies too, and pretty much every different kind of performance company. I was going around talking to them, letting them know about Boosted Motorsports, and yeah, that's how I spent a good portion of my time, because trying to get the people in charge, through email or phone is almost impossible, but usually you have all the people who's running the show or in charge of their marketing or social media is usually at SEMA. So maybe a different strategy than a lot of the YouTubers running around with cameras in their face, but I thought it was effective. It seemed to get good responses, and we'll see how that works out here shortly. So anyways, to get to some of your questions. Wild TA, Big 13 in the house, member on Ram Forum. We talked a few times. What's up, man? What's up? I have been kicking around the idea of buying a Dakota RT, and I seem to have the same taste Come on, everybody, hit the like button. Yeah, if you guys hit the like button, even on this live feed, I'm not gonna keep over exaggerating it, but it does help, honestly. So, and to answer your question, I didn't really think about the RT until I got one. I kind of just got it because it was gonna be a cheap, fun project, and now I'm really starting to like it. Now that I'm researching them more because I need to for the different stuff we're doing. I'm finding out how rare they are, and now I'm excited to see how fast we can make it. I'll show you guys kind of what's behind my head here in a little bit. So I know I'm kind of blocking the engine bay, but I've been working on it, and I just got back from actually Home Depot to get some hardware. So because I have to make some bracketry, which I can talk about here soon. But yeah, to get back to the like thing, like I said, I kind of like doing these live streams because I can talk to you guys and just tell you what's going on, like here, now, and in the moment. So on those videos that you guys gave a ton of likes, if you look at the views, it actually bumped it up quite a bit. And it's not just from us as subscribers on Boosted Motorsports channel. It was actually being promoted to other people from YouTube. So like I said, I try my best to make the good videos. So if you guys are on the video, you guys found it decent, if you guys want to see something else, give me the feedback that I need to make better videos. But if you did like it, give the thumbs up because it actually helps things come up in the search rankings. I didn't design the platform, I just know what it is and what it does. And yeah, it seems to help. So if you take a look at those videos where we hit like 500-600 likes on both of them, it boosted them up a lot. And if you actually search for like Mopar or Dodge truck, that video was like popping up first for a while, so it definitely helps. What else we got? 392 engine swap in the Dakota. So we're gonna stick with the 5.9 liter RT engine for, I don't know, for a good while. So I've said it before as well, as far as number figures, talking to Flying Ryan, who's gonna be tuning this with HP tuners. We should be in the neighborhood with just that intake manifolds, Pro Charger, and bolt-ons. We should be in the neighborhood of 450 to 550 horsepower at the wheels. So just to put that in perspective, like, it's gonna fly. This thing is way lighter than pretty much any of the other Dodge products at this point. Being Challenger, it's a good 600 pounds lighter easily. Charger, it's much lighter. So this truck is supposed to weigh 3,800 pounds. Chargers, Challengers, they're all upwards of 4,500 pounds. The Ram that we had before was like 5,000 pounds or 5,200 pounds. So we have a huge weight advantage. Once we Pro Charge it, Supercharge it, we're gonna end up making a bunch of jams. So this thing should go fast. We just need to get it to hook, but I mean, power to weight ratio, we should be right there. Once this motor gets tired, either the heads end up lifting, because that's a common issue on this, both the heads cracking, the stock cast heads, they crack, or it lifts and we blow head gaskets. Then we'll end up taking the heads off, and part of the reason some guys were asking why I didn't do anything with head gaskets and ARP head studs and all that good stuff while I had the intake manifold off is because if I have to unbolt the heads, I'm just going to take them off and they're going to stay off. So the plan is to boost this truck. We'll see how far we get. We should be able to make more than enough power, but if we kind of, I mean, even if we get to the 450, 550 wheel horsepower mark, and if we get bored of that, which, I mean, that should do pretty good at the strip. But if we got bored of that, then we can still build this motor, turn up the boost, get a more efficient supercharger head unit. We can still keep the Pro Charger kit, but we can get a bigger supercharger, add more boost to it, and then we could be 700 wheel horsepower, in and arounds, and we could still be on this engine platform. So the engine platform isn't really restricting. It's just in its stock form, it was pretty restricting. Now we should be okay. So I don't know, to answer your question, if we get super bored down in the future, we could always do a 392, or honestly, if I'm gonna put a Hemi in it, it's probably gonna be a Hellcat swap and start from there. But we should be in pretty good territory by the time we get this thing supercharged, honestly. But if we're not, we'll reconsider at that point. Patrick, what's up, Pat? Matt Glover, what made you leave SEMA early? Yeah, I think I covered that. Hopefully you joined in time for that one, Matt. I didn't really leave early. I was there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all of Thursday, and then I came back last night being Thursday night. So, And SEMA opens to the public Friday at noon, I believe, is what I was told. Anyways, I've never been there for the public day because it just gets crazy. So really, I only missed out on an extra 4 hours if I wanted to go from, or not even 3 hours in the morning, because it opens at 9 a.m. So from 9 a.m. to noon, if I wanted to kind of get 3 hours more in before it just got absolutely bananas. So I got more than enough my fill of SEMA. My feet were absolutely just cooked by the end of that, but no, it was fun. I did what I needed to do, talked to all the vendors that I wanted to, different companies, and got you guys some footage. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how SEMA went this year. Jose, what's up, brother? What's going on, man? Wild TA, Big 13 here. What's up, man? Mr. Big Train. It's here from Florida. It's midnight. I have to work at 6 a.m. Yeah, sorry, dude. I mean, I don't know. I always put it up because I'm conscious of the fact that we're on the West Coast and we're ahead from Eastern or even Central Time. But everybody keeps voting on the later Pacific Standard Time. So I don't know. That's you guys, not me. I could do it earlier. I might just try doing it earlier to see if more people join in then. So maybe we'll try next Friday. We'll do it like at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is still like 10 over there. So I don't know. I try to be conscious of it, but you guys keep voting on this 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so don't blame me. Wild TA, he's from Canada. Oh, okay, cool. Matt Glover, I'm ready to get my fill of videos for this Dakota build, ready to see some power. Yeah, me too. That's the other thing. Not that I left SEMA early, but I'm pretty anxious to get this thing underway. So the faster I can put it back together, the faster that me and Flying Ryan can tune it, and we can go to the track and then install the next mod. So like I was mentioning before, we're going to do this mod to the actual truck first before we end up doing the next mod. So we want to do the intake manifold, tune it, and then go to the track and see where we're at, and then we'll do other stuff, right? So exhaust and some of the other stuff I haven't showed you guys just yet. So yeah, we're gonna do it in stages. So we'll go to the track, see how it performs, do another mod, retune it, go to the track, and just keep going on like that. So it'll be pretty good. And we're only gonna do a few more bolt-ons. So I think probably the stage of things are gonna go intake manifold. So that's on. I'm just buttoning things up, and I'm hoping that it goes smoothly because the cables and stuff are. You kind of have to fabricate your own bracketry for the cables for a big 4-barrel, well, 3-barrel in this case, throttle body. So you have to make your own brackets. Well, I didn't have to make my own bracket, but I had to make the posts and stuff and the cables and where they all connect. And I'm working with a couple of guys online that have done it before to get that all done. So I'm just monkeying around with that stuff and the fuel rails and bolting them because they don't quite bolt up properly. So I'll share all that stuff with you guys. I was filming as well with the GoPro earlier before we started this, and I had to run to go get some hardware. So I can show you guys that here in a minute too, what I've been working on, but I'll give you guys a full video on exactly what went on. Where are we at? Michael, did you see the B is for Build LS Swaps twin turbo Lambo? Yeah, I actually did see it. It was super cool. There wasn't really a whole lot to see on the car, honestly. From the front, it just looks like not a typical Lamborghini, but I mean, it just looks like a Lamborghini Huracan. You don't really know what's going on. Walk around the back of the car doesn't look any different, honestly. It's only until you kind of stand over top of it, then you see, you know, all the Texas speed cover and stuff like that. You see the LS and you see two turbos, but that thing is buried in there. Like, you're only looking at kind of the top of the engine, so there's not really a whole lot to see. And I don't know. I don't think he's really. I think he was in a rush to get that thing done. So I saw. So they call SEMA Ignited when everybody drives out of SEMA. All the show cars get driven out. That's called SEMA Ignited over there. And I saw an Instagram clip probably a couple hours ago of him driving out today, and he was just putting along, like he didn't rev it or anything like that. So I think he just barely made it to SEMA, which, you know, good on him. But yeah, it wasn't really a whole lot to see. You saw the top of the engine. And we haven't heard him, like, you know, revving the crap out of it or anything like that, or two-stepping. So, but yeah, it's a cool build for sure. Ben, how's it going? Just stopping by to say hi. Not sure how long to stay. Sounds like you've got some positive from SEMA. Yeah, Ben. It worked out. Like I said, I kind of did a bit of both, a bit of the filming and a lot of running around and talking to vendors as well. So I met up briefly with Demonology, but he was like in a live stream. Actually, when I did my live stream at the Mopar booth, he was there also live streaming, and he continued to live stream. So I went up, kind of said hello to him, and I don't know, I talked to him for maybe like 10 seconds, and then he kept running around doing his live stream. So I might try to reach out to him again and see if we can kind of collaborate a little bit. I know he's over in Texas, I believe, but it'd be cool to kind of do some video conference videos like that. So I know there's some YouTube videos or YouTubers that will actually like kind of have like a Skype call and just kind of, I don't know, just shoot the crap or whatever, and then do that live or post that footage. So it'd be cool to do that, talk to him, tell him what we're doing, and then, I don't know, if we get this thing fast enough, we could kind of, that's my plan, honestly, you guys, is get this truck fast enough. I know we're kind of just lightly modding it almost right now, but get it fast enough that we can maybe tour next summer and go to some of these big events, whether it's in Texas or Florida or, you know, Texas 2019 or 2020 and all that stuff, where they do those big events and, you know, run at the same events that Demonology and all those guys on the East Coast are running. It's not really a whole lot of like drag racing events out here on the West Coast. It's mostly car shows, which nothing wrong with car shows, but for me, they get a little bit repetitive. I'd like to go to the track events and do that. There's a lot more road course events out here. There's some half mile stuff, but this thing, I don't think this thing would really do damage on the half mile. A lot of the half mile cars are like serious cars. They're like, you know, 1,200, 15, 2,000 wheel horsepower cars. But yeah, this thing is definitely not there just yet. Patrick, when are you putting the HP tuner on the Dodge? That should be happening here pretty shortly. So actually, we're almost ready, honestly. So I'm hoping to finish the intake tomorrow. If everything goes smoothly as planned, I should have the truck back up and running tomorrow with the intake behind me. I know my fat head is blocking the way, but the intake is on it, and I'll grab that camera and run around here in a little bit and show you guys what's going on. But once we get that on and running, then I'll show you guys the process with HP tuners, same way I did with the Viper. Hopefully all that goes smoothly. I'll pull the file out of the Dakota, send it to Flying Ryan, and he'll modify it, send me something back, and then at that point, if everything goes as planned, we'll be heading over to a drag strip to test it. So actually, honestly, I think if everything goes smoothly, I should be able to do that. My goal would be to be at the drag strip next Thursday night. So I think that's what I'm gonna try to set the goal for, is get the truck back up and running, maybe get some data logs going back and forth between me and Flying Ryan, and then Thursday nights are 8th mile. Usually quarter mile stuff happens on the weekend. I haven't checked the schedule to see if there's anything quarter mile next weekend, but the 8th mile stuff runs regularly every Thursday, like it's like clockwork. So that would be pretty cool. Get the truck running, go to the 8th mile, see how we fare with the intake and a tune, and then we'll do the next mod and then keep going from there. So hopefully we'll have it tuned and everything by next Thursday would be the goal. Enrique, I've been watching your videos since the start of Dakota build. Usual great content, very informative. Appreciate all the work you guys do. Looks great. Thanks, man. Like I said, appreciate the support. I know, you know, Ben, Enrique, they're both members of the channel, so I appreciate your guys' support as well, and everybody else's. So we're gonna keep cranking away on this thing. So, like I said, even at SEMA, like I was looking at everybody else's build, and it just made me more and more anxious to get going on the Dakota. Like, we have all these parts, we got the supercharger and everything, and I almost had to put it on hold for most of this week. So trust me, I'm just as excited to get this stuff going. So I wanted to get back, put a dent in this install so we can get the truck back up and running and start going racing again. Jose, how do you like the Gibson headers? Honestly, I don't know if it really, I mean, there's obviously their improvement over stock, but like a lot of people mentioned, it's not like, I don't think it was a huge difference. I mean, all the runs that we went to with the truck, so when we did the 8th mile stuff, that was with the Gibson headers, and it wasn't really anything to talk about. I mean, the truck was decent, but it's not like super fast, so I don't know, to kind of answer your question on the Gibson, they're better, they fit good, they look good, but we need to do a little bit something more, which you guys already know what we're doing. So we're gonna go the mid-length Mopars and some more exhaust, 2.5 inch all the way back, and that should really get her breathing after. Michael, I'm quite sure it's obvious, but if you got new intake manifold bolts, it's best to use those. I snapped 2 old ones, but I know how to get them out, but please be careful. Yeah, I actually just put brand new ones in, so I put all 12 brand new intake manifold bolts back in. So I agree with you though, mine are in pretty decent shape, honestly, but I could see if you were in some areas like a rust belt or something like that, how they could be pretty ugly or nasty, because even mine with, you know, no salt and stuff like down here, they were pretty ugly looking bolts, I guess, just from moisture and different stuff, or if your coolant passages end up leaking a little bit, then it would definitely get pretty nasty. Patrick, wintertime here in Ohio, so my Dakota is away for the next few months, so I'll be living for speed through your Dakota, so crank it up. Yeah, we're definitely going to, so I'm excited, honestly. I can't wait to see how fast this thing is, and I don't know, just build it from there. So I think the motor should hold for a decent amount of time. So I'm pretty, I mean, even the last build, so we had the Ram 1500, which has like glass pistons in it, and we beat on that thing good, but we did it safely. So I'm familiar, obviously, you know, I named this channel Boosted Motorsports. I'm pretty familiar with Boost and the proper way of doing it. And ironically, I know how to do it properly at this point from doing it all wrong in the past. So I've done it wrong in the past. I've done it too quickly where, well, actually my first supercharged car, or no, it wasn't even that. I had a turbocharged Honda when I was like 16 or 17. Blew that up multiple times, put an eBay turbo kit on it, blew up the turbo like multiple times, blew up the seals, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Kept blowing things up, got a Honda S2000, got a turbo kit, put a piggyback stand-alone ECU on it, got in the car, got trigger happy, floored the crap out of it, blew up the engine in literally 30 seconds. So I had so much fun in it. I literally put the turbo kit on, drove down my street, had my buddy in the passenger seat. I think I was 17. Got in a boost, heard all the sounds, all the whistling. Car like pulled like a maniac. Got addicted to it. Floored it a second time, I think second or third time, and just car shut off. And literally just grenaded the whole engine. All the tops of the pistons were gone in a matter of 30 seconds. So telling you that short story because now I know how to do it right. I always put wideband O2 fuel or air fuel ratio gauges in there so that I know if something's going wrong. If it starts leaning out, you get out of it with your foot. If you hear any, you know, pinging or rattling or anything of that nature, you get out of it. Just a lot of things that you learn after breaking a lot of stuff. So it'll be fun. Darren, hey Boost, hope you're safe from the fires. Yeah, there's a lot of, I guess there is a lot of fires. I guess I should say, you know, knock on wood. There's nothing around my area, thankfully, at this moment. I know it's kind of a thing in California where there's forest fires or whatever, mountain fires, I guess, almost all over the place. But yeah, luckily it's not near me, but I appreciate it. Jerry P, what's up, man? He's got the Mopar and Nopar. Thanks again for your support, buddy. He's also a member. Budman, hey, thanks for showing me the RAM plug change. Not that bad with the tool. Yeah, that special tool is a lifesaver. So what Budman's talking about is RAM 1500 Hemi, the 5.7. I showed how to change the spark plugs. You'd think it's fairly straightforward. It is fairly straightforward, but everybody makes it out to be this huge job that the dealers want to charge $1 million for. And I show you guys a little $13 tool, I think it is, that makes it a piece of cake, and you guys can get it done yourself in like under a couple hours. So that's what he's referring to, if you guys are wondering. Angel, you and that Dakota. I know, it looks way better, like even as I'm looking at it through the phone, it looks way better on camera than it does in person. I mean, I guess it looks pretty good, but you get close and you see all the scratches and stuff, but I mean, 20-year-old paint, what can you say? Wolverine, love this build because I plan to put a 5.9 in my 72 Roadrunner. It gives me some insight on what to do. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll show you guys the ins and outs on what I find on this build. And you guys already know me by now, hopefully, or if you're new to the channel, I'm always a straight shooter. I always, you know, no BS. Show you guys what works or what didn't work for us and review all that stuff. And keep going from there. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot to show you guys here for sure. Jordo, what is it about Mopars that makes you love them? I've just always, I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those things that you buy something like, and part of it and a lot of it I think has to do with luck, because there's some people that are hardcore Chevy or hardcore Ford. You guys all know those people too. But for me, I bought, I think one of my first vehicles was that the first one? I had a Dakota. I had a 2000 Dakota V6, same color, intense blue, but in extended cab. And I bought that truck I think for $1,500 when I was like 18, I want to say. And drove that thing across the country, back, forth, and it worked perfectly. It never gave me any problems, just routine maintenance. And then me and my dad had a few Dodge pickup trucks. He had a 99 Dodge Ram Sport, and we put a few 100,000 miles on that thing, no issues. Then we bought a brand new 2005 Ram 1500 Hemi 4x4. That thing is still going. I think it has at least, and I'm not going to stutter here, at least 600,000 miles on that truck. That thing is like, I don't even know how it's lasted that long. So that truck has obviously been working really well for us. We had good luck on that. I've had the 05 SRT10 Ram since 05 and just routine maintenance. Nothing really wrong with it. I had an SRT4 for a little while too. That thing was, no issue on that. So I guess to kind of answer your question, I've just always had those vehicles and they've always done me well. Just as long as I've done the routine maintenance, it's never really been an issue. So yeah, they've just been good to me, but at the same time, I'm a lover of all vehicles, so obviously I have this yellow banana here, which is a fun car too, and I do want to get like a Corvette at some point too, because, same as what you guys are saying here with the B is for build thing, like LSs are so cheap, the parts for them are cheap, the amount of mods, aftermarket supports, options, all that stuff, there's just so much out there for those LSs, like, you can get an intake manifold for an LS for 100, 200, 300 bucks, whereas for this truck, this Mopar truck, it's like upwards of $600 for something like that. It's literally more than double the price. So it's just a different platform. So I think it'd be fun to play with a Corvette at some time or some point, because I was honestly thinking Corvette would maybe even replace the Honda at some point, because I could get a Z06, do a build on that, and I could use it for both. We could go to the drag strip, or I could take to the road course. It would have enough power to, handle and stuff like that. Plus, the Z06 is an excellent handling platform. So I was kind of thinking of getting a salvage Z06 that I could track and have fun with as well. But like I said, I love all vehicles. It just, like I said, I know there's probably a lot of people watching that are hardcore Dodge or Mopar. I mean, obviously I have a lot of Dodge stuff too, but I just like vehicles, and I think everybody kind of makes a good vehicle as well. Like even those new Fords with the 5.0-liter Coyotes, like those motors are killing it right now, as you guys know. People are slapping on superchargers on it, and they're running like 10 seconds in the quarter mile. Like they're flying on mostly stock engines. So everybody makes a good product. Ben's got all the emojis going. What's up, man? Full send, Hemi, Mopar. Orlando, keep up the good content. Love your channel. Thanks, brother. I'm gonna keep plugging away, and we'll keep cranking out the videos. Angel has two Dakotas, a 97, 94, 97 has a 412 inch. I'm looking forward on lowering my truck next season. Yeah, so I think this one's finally decently lowered. That's one of the companies I was talking to at SEMA, was about getting some more stuff on here for the truck and for the build as well. So I do also have the stuff that Jason gave us too, so the shocks and all that stuff that still has to go on. So right now I'm trying to get the performance dialed in, and when we get a spare second here too, we'll switch back to the suspension and get that dialed in. So I mean, as long as the truck hooks up at the track, I think I'll probably leave the suspension. And if we start having traction issues, then we'll start going back to suspension and adjustable shocks and different stuff too. What are we hearing? Wish I could stay for most of the live stream, but damn winter storm of 30 to 40 centimeters of snow. Holy. Alright, looks like Ben is out. Yeah, that's good luck in the snow, man. It was hot here today. It was like 90 degrees. But I know the whole feeling, so. And I don't have it in front of me, but I kind of wanted to show you guys something here. Maybe if you guys will allow me, I'll run inside the house here for a second and grab some parts. I kind of want to show you some stuff that you guys are going to actually be seeing on the channel here soon. And it has to do with the Viper truck, so I'm not being BSing. I have a bunch of stuff that I had to order to be able to get the Viper truck back in working order, and I'm going to show you guys that install as well. Oh, Darren actually led right in it. How soon before you get the SRT10? Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to run in because you just reminded me something. I want to show you guys something I got. So it's going to be an install on the SRT10, and this might be exciting for you guys. It's a common problem, but give me 2 seconds. I'll grab that so I can show you guys. Alright, so you guys ready for SRT10 content? Alright, so like I was mentioning to you guys, the SRT10 has been sitting for a while. It's been sitting at my mom's house and I have to go get it. But one of the common issues with the SRT10 trucks is, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, they have the Brembo brakes on them, but the calipers seize. More so the front calipers than anything, but it's just pretty much all of them. Whether they sit, they don't sit, the calipers seize on them, and a lot of people are attributing it to moisture in the brake fluid, causing a tiny bit of corrosion in the caliper, and the piston getting stuck inside. I don't know how much sense that makes to me, honestly, because unless Dodge puts some sort of, you know, that crappy of brake fluid in it from the factory, and maybe everybody should have flushed it out. But literally everybody's SRT10, the brake calipers are all seizing on it. So I had to order all the components for the brake calipers. I just ordered it so that I have it with me, so that when I fly out to go pick up the truck, I have all the parts with me. I don't have to wait and order them and all that stuff. So I ordered everything off of Rock Auto in this case, but I had to get, so the front pistons, or the front calipers, sorry, each caliper has 4 pistons in it, and everybody's changing every single one. So this is a OEM Mopar piston, but these things are huge. Like, check out the size of that thing. I mean, there's the palm of my hand, and it's literally taking up my whole hand. So there's 4 of these in the front. So I have like a million boxes of these. So I've got 8 of these that I have to put in. And then I have to replace all the seals. So here's the massive seals that go around these pistons. So I'll be putting that in there as well. And then the rear pistons, I'm just gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna do the rear ones. I'm gonna go up there and assess it. I haven't seen the truck in a couple of years, honestly. But when I go up there, I'm gonna see how it is. If the rears aren't sticking, I'm just gonna leave them, wait till I get down here, because it's gonna be freezing cold up there. I think there's snow on the ground up there. So, but I'll share all that with you guys once I get up there. But these are the rears, these tiny little guys. So there's 2 of these each on each rear caliper. So I have 4 of these, I have 8 of these, and I have to rebuild the calipers before I can road trip it back. So I'll be showing you guys that install. It's probably going to be miserable because it's going to be freezing cold up there. So I'm going to have to try it. And I don't think there's anywhere indoors that I can work on it. So that'll be some raw wrenching for you guys for sure. I'm like looking forward to it and not looking forward to it all at the same time, because I'll be excited to get the truck and see the truck, because I haven't seen it in a while, and get the truck, you know, back again and running and start cleaning it up and everything, and get it on the channel for you guys. But that is going to be some cold wrenching working on that thing. So But yeah, so I got Ram or SRT10 content coming for you guys. I don't think many of you guys are gonna have that issue to, I don't know, maybe you guys do have SRT10s with frozen calipers, but anyways, I'll be showing you guys all that anyways. So there's all the parts for it. So now we just need to go to the truck to fix it. Jose says, I have a 99 Dodge Ram short bed. I love it. Looking at your videos gives me a lot of motivation to work on my truck. Thanks, man. Yeah, like I said, I had one of those trucks too. Those are solid trucks. The engines are really good. If you ever, just kind of a little bit of advice, if you ever have an issue with the transmission, because I had a similar transmission in my Dakota, and if you live in colder climates, if it's slow to shift, and like you're driving it, and when the truck is cold, it won't like shift. You almost have to let off the gas and then get for it to shift and then get back on the gas. A lot of guys will tell you it's all these solenoids, but it's a seal kit that's inside the transmission. Because I had a really honest transmission guy. He told me, you know, you can go crazy spending a bunch of money on different seals, different solenoids, but if he puts this aftermarket seal kit in it, that the seals will close up a little bit and tighten up, and your shifting will go back to normal. So he ended up doing that for me for pretty cheap, I thought, and it fixed the issue. So, but I mean, the engines are solid; they'll run forever. But you might just run into the transmission issue. That's kind of the only downfall of the older trucks. What's next? Jordo, thanks, man. Great answer. I love them because I used to work on these trucks with my dad. Yeah, my dad doesn't really work on trucks. I was always the one having to fix everything, but yeah, I've always had them. They've always been good to me. So I mean, I wouldn't not own a Ford or a Chevy. Like, I don't know if you guys would get mad at me for saying that, but I wouldn't not own one. It's just these ones have been good to me, and I've just been messing around with these ones. But like I said, I do want to get like a Corvette and mess around with some of that stuff at some point. We wouldn't get rid of these vehicles. We'd always have something Mopar to work on, but just kind of switching stuff up. It's just fun. It keeps things interesting, honestly. Patrick is thinking about getting aluminum heads for his Dakota next year. Have you done any research into them? And if so, what style brand would you recommend? Yeah, so I've researched just briefly. I think best bang for your buck, or at least my initial research, is probably going to be the Edelbrock ones. The fully assembled ones, you can actually get Hughes versions of those that are kind of ported and polished. But I think best bang for a buck, I think they're around $1,000 for the pair, and you can get Edelbrock heads. They've already got the valves in them, they've already got the springs, they've already got the retainers. They're a fully assembled head, you just bolt the thing on. So I think I would probably go that way. That's just me personally, but I'm still going to research it more. But just from me kind of poking around, that was kind of the conclusion I came to. But yeah, once we get to that, I'll definitely go into further research and decide from there, and keep you guys posted on what I find. Badass channel, would love to see a boost done on a Power Wagon. Yeah, that would be cool too. Do you mean the old one or the new one? I know there's the newer ones, but they're thinking of kind of almost doing that new TRX Hellcat. I don't know if it's still a rumor at this point or if they're actually going to do it. What is going on here? Placido Lopez, love your build. Thanks, brother. Like, it's gonna be pretty fun too. We're just getting started, honestly. So once things get cranking here and we get some of the mods rolling, honestly, like, I feel like the supercharger is going to be easier for me than the intake manifold was, because having to mess around with all these, and I don't have it in front of me, it's inside, is like all the bolts and the hardware, and having to figure this out. It's interesting for me. It's just time consuming because I have to decide what I need, mess with it, then I have to drive to the hardware store, or drive to the store, get that, come back, then I'm missing this little thing, and drive back to the store. It's just a lot of running around. But yeah, once we get that on, I feel like doing the actual the install of the supercharger, I think that's gonna be easier. What's up, Steve? Yeah, I heard you guys got snow yesterday, and then I heard you guys are getting, I think you guys are getting more snow today too, or something. So, Steve is unknown and infamous. He's got a supercharged SRT10 single cab as well, so his is a little bit faster than mine. Darren, very interested in seeing the SRT10 content. Awesome. What color is it? The SRT10 is a limited edition, commemorative edition. I think it's, jeez, it's been so long I don't even remember what number it is. It's sad. I think it's number 168. 168, I'm pretty sure. It's a limited edition truck, one of 200. It's white with blue stripes. It's got all blue stitching inside. It's got like a little special edition plaque inside. So it's gonna be pretty cool. It's completely stock except for an intake right now. It just has a K&N intake on it, but I want to spice it up a little bit. I don't want to modify it too heavily because it is a collector's edition truck, but I'm still gonna make it tastefully done. I want to lower it a bit. I want to put some bigger wheels on it and put a more aggressive exhaust on it and just kind of keep it clean and just nice. That's kind of what I want to do with it. Camden says, I own an 08 Ram 1500. Love your videos. Thanks, brother. Yeah, so at some point I do want to kind of do some more third gen stuff, and when you having that 08, I'll be doing also, I guess, with the SRT10 as well, I'll be doing a lot of LED stuff and lighting stuff, so that'll give a lot of you guys that have third gens maybe some stuff as well. So I know a lot of the, mosquito, I think, a lot of the third gen stuff, you know, there's not that much out there for it, so I'll do all the bulb stuff and lighting stuff and poking around with that, trying to figure out the best lighting setup for you guys too. So that'll all be coming once we get the SRT10 on here as well. Max, your videos are always worth watching. Thanks. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, I do my best to deliver content that everybody likes and that doesn't waste anybody's time, so I appreciate that. Only 1.6. 2018 Power Wagon 6.4 Hemi. That's a big truck. Yeah, as far as those trucks, those are cool. Definitely cool. But I think if I was gonna do a build on a truck, another truck, at least a 4th gen, I think I would want to do a lifted one. Somebody mentioned that too. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I would really like to customize and do a lifted truck, but I don't think I'd want to do a lifted 1500 because the next truck I think that I want to get is like a, almost funny to say, but a functional truck. I want to get something that I can tow with because if we start going to events, like I was mentioning a little bit earlier, if we get this Dakota fast enough that we can go to events, and if we end up like going to some of these events on the East Coast, I want to get a truck that I could tow with and then get a trailer that I could put something on. So if we got a trailer, put the Dakota on it, and then had like a diesel truck that I could, you know, do a long haul with without spending $1 million in fuel, because I know a lot of these, you know, I towed with a Hemi, me and my dad did, so it'll pull it, it's got the power, but when it's pulling a significant weight and it's downshifting and it's sitting at like 3,500 RPM, it just sucks through the gas, whereas a diesel is just sitting there just cruising, and you can get way better gas mileage. So I'd like to maybe get something like that. I think it would be fun to get, I don't know, some sort of Cummins and, you know, tastefully mod it, but not like huge like SEMA build, but just something that's, you know, typical, or, you know, a build that would make sense for a lot of people, and do something like that. And something that I could actually use, like if we saw a good deal on a car, grab the car trailer, jump in the truck, go and pick it up, and, you know, that sort of thing. I think that would be cool. Like, you guys have obviously watched like Richard Rawlings, you know, Fast and Loud, how he'll jump in his pickup truck with the flatbed trailer. He'll run over somewhere with cash and hand somebody cash, and he's got the winch, and he just pulls the car or whatever he's trying to buy onto that trailer and rips back. Like, I think that'd be fun to do with this channel. If I could turn this channel into something like that, I would be all for it. I don't know how much people would like me waving a camera in their face. I know Richard Rawlings is obviously a big guy, or a big deal. He's not a big guy, but he's obviously a big deal. He's got the whole camera crew, but I think that would be fun. Like road tripping, telling you guys what I'm doing, road tripping out there, getting the car, road tripping back, building in the garage, going on to the next one. That's eventually where I'd like to take the channel. And that's I guess kind of why I'm gonna do that with SRT10. I'm doing it on with my own vehicle, so I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride to go fly over to my mom's house, work on that truck. It's almost like, I feel like it's almost like roadkill. Like fly somewhere, go over there, work on the truck outside, and then road trip it back. Hope nothing happens since it's been sitting for a little bit. It'll be fun though. Dan says, love your channel. I've had a 98 Dakota RT since 2003, and I just bought a 16 Ram Crew Cab. I found your channel by your lowered Ram Crew Cab, but then you started the Dakota build, and I'm hooked. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why I got rid of the Ram too is because we were making it into a race truck, and I've said it before, but that truck was super heavy. We had made a lot of power with the Ram, but I pretty much got into the 11s. Like, it was pretty well an 11-second truck. I went 12.1 second in the quarter mile with that fully loaded, heavy crew cab, fully loaded truck. And that was like on a terrible density altitude at DA. It was like 3,300. If I had taken that same truck to the East Coast or somewhere that has better air and more dense air, then I would have easily been in the 11s. So the truck was fast, but it was at that point where it really wasn't a race truck. It was more of a practical truck. And I honestly wanted to do something lighter and be more competitive. I don't want to be, or I didn't want to be, I should say, fast for a truck. I just want to be fast, if that makes any sense. So with this light truck, it's, you know, as light as most cars, and if we get enough horsepower into it, it can just be fast, right? So I could go up next to a car at the drag strip, and we can just be fast. That's what I want to get to. Whether it's a car or a truck, I don't care, but if I go to the drag strip, we do all this wrenching, all this work. I want to go to the track and actually win and have fun. I don't want to just be fast for a truck. Or, you know, you get smoked by a car, but, oh, that's cool. He's fast for a truck. It's not fun. If I'm going to do all this wrenching, all this work, all this documenting, let's go fast. So that's why we got the Dakota. Thomas says, are you deleting the AC while it's off? All the horsepowers? No, I'm probably going to leave it on for now. It's not that much extra weight. I might do the belt bypass. So if you guys are in the know on the Dakota stuff, you can get a shorter length belt and literally just go right past the compressor. You don't even have to take the compressor off. So you can sit there and just go around the compressor, and you can actually do the same with the power steering too. You can get a really short belt and just go around, and you can skip the power steering and skip the AC. So if anything, if I really was trying to get everything out of it, I'd probably do that. But I mean, it gets pretty hot out here in California, and I don't want to be roasting unless we go full race truck. And if we do at some point go full race truck, I'm all for it. But if we're gonna keep it kind of street truckish, then I'll leave the AC for now. It works good too. So I mean, if it wasn't working, I would just yank it. But it's actually working pretty good right now. Angel, you should buy a tonneau cover for the Dakota. I was thinking about it, but I think I would want the hard type. And the hard type weighs a little bit. That's the only thing. So I don't know. For now, I'll keep it off because I don't know. I want to keep the truck as light as possible, and I don't want to really start adding accessories to it. I agree it would look better, but I might just skip it for now because I don't want to add the extra weight. And we got so much going on with trying to make the truck fast that I'm trying to get all the parts to do that before we start getting into the nice looking stuff again. Matt, I want to get a 2014 or newer Ram RT regular cab. Yeah, those trucks are cool. They're definitely fast. There's definitely starting to be a lot of mods for them. So as long as, I will tell you, Matt, if you don't already know, definitely check it out. But I mean, you can get the newer RTs with a 6-speed, and then you can get an RT with an 8-speed. So just keep an eye out for that, because you can get a single cab with a Hemi with a 6-speed, and you'll regret it down the road. So just make sure you end up with an 8-speed, because it makes a big difference. Patrick says, I did the electric fan swap last week and found out if you just take the radiator hose loose, it's a lot easier to install. Oh, well, that's good to know. So he got it in. Only 1.6. Hot man, thanks for answering all the questions. Best advice. Keep up the great work. Always looking forward to your next videos. Thanks, brother. Like I said, I'm going to keep cranking them out. Just, you know, you guys, if you can just do me a solid and just make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I think on the last video, the one where we were trying to hit 600 likes on the last one so that I could show you guys the next mod, I think it's at 400 and something. So if you guys haven't yet, make sure you go back to the last the build reveal video. I think it's build reveal number 2 or 3. Might be 2. Anyways, the last one that we posted, it's at like 400 something likes. I told you guys once it gets to 600 likes, I'll show you guys the next part, which is okay if we have to wait a little bit because we still have a lot of work to do. So, but once it gets to 600, then I'll show you guys the next mods. But I still have more stuff for it too. For a SRT10 Ram or 2008 Viper, what mods would you start to do with? Would you start with? Do share. As far as the mods, what would you start with? First things first. They're kind of choked up, so there's a few things. Definitely exhaust. The trucks and cars, anything Viper. You gotta remember the size of the displacement, right? So depending on where you live, if you can make the truck breathe better, you'll benefit from that. I mean, most of the Vipers are like 8.3 liters. I think this one's an 8 liter because it's an older one, but the newer stuff is like 8.2, 8.3, or 8.4. I don't know. They kind of changed it through some of the years, but anyways, it's a big 8 something liter V10. So with a lot of the emission stuff on there, it's really choked up. So if you can get a more free flowing exhaust, whether that's just cat back or you do high flow cats and do headers and you get into the whole thing. Obviously, if you can do header back, that would be probably one of the first things I'd do. The Vipers have a pretty good intake on them from the factory. They have the cold air, ram air intake. So that's, I wouldn't mess with that. But another thing I would do, an easy mod, believe it or not, is underdrive pulley. I have one on here, and it makes a big difference. Like, you can feel it. I think it's something like 20 or 30 horsepower just by changing the underdrive pulley. Underdrive pulley is just the pulley that goes on the crank, and it just turns all your accessories a little bit slower, so it gives you kind of a mechanical advantage, and it's less load on the engine. So I have an underdrive pulley on that one, and it definitely made a difference. So I would do those simple things. I would do exhaust. If it doesn't have it already, do some like K&N drop-in filters, underdrive pulley, and I would do a tune. I think with those things there, you'll see a significant difference. That's where I would start, honestly. And I mean, I might still do that sort of thing on the SRT10 that I have too. So just some like light mods like that would be cool. Matt says, everybody's told me to go with the 8-speed because it's way faster, and 6-speed is, transmission supposedly. I mean, it's not that bad, honestly. Like, Custom Black Guns, Joey over there, he has a 6-speed, and he's been going the drag strip. He's got huge 35s on. He's been spraying his truck, nitrous, and his transmission's still holding up. So he's kind of making a mockery of it, how everybody's saying that his transmission will grenade. But it is just a little bit faster to have the 8-speed in there. Giving it those extra 2 gears and being able to shift and keep it in the power band a little bit more of where the truck actually makes power in the RPM range, it just helps go faster, that's all. Isaac, how much horsepower boost could a 360 make stock internals other than pistons and a mild cam, LA? So the LA is a little bit older one. I haven't stock internals. So you would upgrade the pistons and put a mild cam. It's not so much boost or PSI. It's more horsepower based. So I think the stock cranks are good between. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's between 600 and 700 horsepower. That number seems to ring a bell. Like I said, I haven't been pushing it there just yet, so I haven't been researching the above and beyond aspect of it. So once I get there, I'll definitely be digging further into finding out who's been pushing these things super hard. Like I said, in talking with Flying Ryan, he would have this answer probably off the top of his head, but I seem to recall it's like 600-700 horsepower on the stock crank, and as long as you have the pistons and the right fuel and all that stuff. So I think this fuel system is good to around that amount, like if you were to run race fuel, but if we were to go E85, which I might actually do, I might be converting this truck to E85 so that we can run more boost. So if I do that, I'm going to have to be upgrading the fuel system here pretty soon. So with E85, it's a cooler burning fuel, so you can run more boost, make more power, But the thing is, you need a lot more of it, so it's going to go through it a lot quicker. And the actual fuel lines on the whole vehicle, whatever vehicle it happens to be, they need to be bigger to allow for more volume of fuel. So I'd have to upgrade the fuel rail, the lines to the actual, like from the tank all the way to the front, and the return line as well. So just be a lot of stuff. But I think the engine, the block is cast, so obviously the block can hold boost. It's more going to be like the heads, the heads cracking, because that's a common issue. The ARP, like doing ARP head studs, doing head gaskets, and keeping the engine together, and then what the limits of the crank are going to be. So that's assuming they're changing the pistons out, pistons and maybe rods. Only 1.6. What would you recommend for a 2018 Power Wagon 6.4 as far as increasing horsepower? On those trucks, first things first, I would probably do a tune. I mean, they have pretty decent exhaust on them from the get, and I would do intake, exhaust, and tune. I think that would probably be, I don't know, my usual steps on tuning is do an intake first. It's one of the cheapest things. It's the quickest to install. I like the sound that you get from an intake. And then from there, I would probably do some sort of exhaust. I mean, you can go from mild to wild on exhaust, so take your preference there. And a tune. With it being the newer truck, you'll have to get the unlocked PCM, so that'll start getting pretty costly pretty fast. Like, you'll be upwards of $1,000 by the time you get an unlocked PCM and you buy some sort of tuner of whatever choice. So that would be the stage. I would do intake, exhaust, and then once you have those two, I would do a tune. And also a bigger throttle body. So you guys know that I was, showing you guys, and I had a bunch of those units, the bigger bored out throttle bodies. Those will fit on the 6.4 as well. I'm gonna try and get some more of those throttle bodies done. The problem I have is finding throttle bodies like cores at a decent price to be able to, because I don't do that many of them in machining, my cost to machine them is kind of high because it's like a custom one-off piece. But I've been trying to do like an exchange program where people will buy the throttle body that I end up modifying, and then once they install it, they're happy with it in whatever period of time. It doesn't matter to me how long that is, but send me back your original that's in good working order so that I can send that one out and get it machined and then sell that one so that I can keep the wheel turning. But a lot of times I end up modifying a bunch of throttle bodies, I sell them, and then I ask that people can return their originals, and I'll give them, a credit back. I'll give them some money back, but they always end up keeping their originals, and then I'm stuck with no throttle bodies again. So a lot of guys have been hitting me up for more throttle bodies, but I don't have them right now. Isaac says, thanks, I have better pistons and a mild cam in it, and planning on a FitTech TBI system and a torque storm running 5 to 7 PSI. I don't know if you'll get to the 550 mark with the torque storm. The only thing is, I almost bought a torque storm supercharger kit, but then I found out that a lot of guys end up having issues because there's actually a little belt inside the supercharger, if you can believe that. So you have the supercharger, you have obviously it's the big turbine, kind of like a turbo, and then you have another gear here that's driven on the cog, and that's where your serpentine belt goes around. And in between the gear and the actual turbocharger, there's a little tiny belt in the middle, and that's a torque storm. It has a little internal belt. There's no oiling or anything in it. So whereas like the Pro Charger and the Vortec kit, they have oil inside and they have like mesh gears, the torque storm doesn't. It has 2 gears and it has a little tiny belt, and apparently that little belt always breaks. And when the belt breaks, you're kind of screwed. So you have to disassemble the whole thing, try and find a belt. There's some companies online that sell the belts, and when I heard all that, I just said nope. I almost bought it, but I didn't. And also the torque storm kit isn't intercooled, so you can't run as much boost, and the air charge isn't as cool. So I mean, you'll still be able to make power, but I don't know if you'll get to the 550 mark. That might be a little high. SRT V8 or 10 says, sweet, thank you much for your brother. Definitely will follow your advice. Power, keep up the great posts and videos. We'll definitely keep you informed. Darren says the PCM or Dakota make much difference, and would you recommend the guy changing his out? I don't know because I had the stock. The PCM that I received the truck with was a Mopar Performance one, so I don't know what difference it necessarily makes over a stock one, like completely stock, because it was already in the truck. But I mean, the truck does okay, but it's not like crazy fast. So I've heard it's supposedly, I think, supposed to have like 30 horsepower or something. Whether that's true or not, I'm not too sure. But let me grab the camera real quick here, and I'll show you guys what I'm working on. Just so I'll switch things up a little bit here. This little phone is cooking. Okay, so this is what I've been working on, and I'm gonna have footage of this for you guys. So it's starting to look pretty good in here. So I just literally finished this today. I got home from SEMA and I wanted to start working on this. So it's down, it's torqued, it's tightened, and we've got that on here. So what I was starting to say is the stock fuel rails, you have to, it's not like a direct bolt on. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. So the fuel rails, it lines up with this post here, as you can see there. But you have to, I think it's Hypotech. They make a kit here that it has like a spacer, and then you put a bolt in, and then they give you a longer bolt. But I'm gonna do essentially that same thing, but do it myself with some kind of Home Depot hardware. Yeah, maybe it could be fancier, but this stuff is really temporary. And I say that because going back to what I said a few minutes ago, we're gonna end up putting different fuel injectors, different fuel rail, and different fuel system on here. So right now, this fuel system is kind of just temporary, honestly. So it's probably gonna be like this for, I don't know how long exactly, but pretty temporary. By the spring, all this stuff is gonna be changed, so. But anyways, so this is kind of what I'm left with. This is just me mocking stuff up. This isn't, I'm leaving it. So what I'm gonna do is I just got back right before I went on this live stream. I went ahead and actually purchased some hardware from Home Depot. So I'm gonna double nut it. So I'm gonna I got a longer bolt here, and I'm gonna put a nut here, and then I'm gonna tighten it up to there, and that way it's tight, and then tighten it down here and put another nut there. So essentially it's gonna be like a stud. And I'm gonna put that there. This one fits pretty nicely on the top of there. And then the back one, I'm gonna have to do something similar to this, except back there. The one that gets really interesting is over here. And this isn't how I'm gonna have it. I just have this stuck on here right now. This bracket actually has a notch for the fuel rail tab. I didn't design this bracket, obviously. But I think somebody intended for that to be able to go through, but as you can see, the hole doesn't line up. So I don't know what the intended purpose was there. I mean, even if I lower it down there, it still doesn't line up with that. So I don't know if you're supposed to put it in there and bend the crap out of it to get it to fit. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up taking this off, and I can't do it with one hand right now, but I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna put the nut back on here, and then I'm gonna put this on top to hold this down. So I don't think I can get this onto here, because if you see that hole down there, and I'll explain all this stuff more in a video. I know it's late. A lot of people are probably making a bunch of people's heads spin. Trust me, it's been making my head spin all day. But that hole there is what this one wants to line up with. There's multiple holes on the top of this intake, and this throttle body uses the one that's set in further. So this wants to be here, or vice versa. That wants to be here, but the post is over here. So I think I'm just gonna take this off, put it on the top, put my nut on, do that post, do that one, and then this bracket I'm gonna put on top and push this down so that these injectors don't pop out. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now, but that might change by the morning. But anyways, I know it's getting late. I see some people dropping off, so I will wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Like I said, thanks for your support. Thanks for watching the videos from SEMA this week. I know it was a little bit different. I like wrenching on stuff and going to the track more than anything. I mean, I could run around car shows and stuff like that, which really isn't the style of this channel. I think a lot of you guys like wrenching, seeing racing, seeing mods, all that stuff. So yeah, we came back. I was there for 4 days. We're back here, but a lot more on the way too. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. I can't thank you guys enough for
actually liking it, because it actually makes this video and the videos on the channel grow, and so we can get more people, more support, all that good stuff, and then start doing what I was saying, where we can go purchase vehicles, modify them, I don't know, sell them, get something different, all that stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys have a good Friday night. I should be posting a video tomorrow. I'm hoping I can button up that throttle body in the morning, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.